Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Velero community meeting / open discussion. Today is October 5th, 2021. We got a bunch of attendees and we got a bunch of status updates. And then I have a discussion topic that I want to talk to you about. If you have any other discussion topics, please feel free to add those in there. Per usual, we'll go through status updates first. So first up, we got Velero 1.7 has released. Fantastic work, everyone. Who wants to talk about the 1.7 release?
Yeah, I can do that. I put that point in. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that folks here were aware that the release had gone out. So the highlights for this release are we've now switched to distroless images. So hopefully one of the main kind of driving factors behind that was to try and reduce the security vulnerabilities that generally are found in the images. We're hoping now with using distroless, that's going to be much reduced. So hopefully folks feel more confident in the images that are being used. Also as well, it reduces the size of the images quite a bit, which is a nice benefit. And then also as well, we have a new debug command, which is going to hopefully really help us whenever we're trying to diagnose Velero issues. Velero debug is a command which will gather up the Velero resources, so like the pod logs and the backup and restore resources, as well as the logs associated with those as well, and create one lovely tarball which can be sent to the Velero maintainers to help us diagnose issues. So yeah, then the rest of that is all other changes, which I won't go into, but if you're interested, feel free to dive into those release notes a bit more. So thank you very much, everyone who contributed. I do like now how GitHub gives you little contributors like summary, so you can see all the folks who had commits that went into their release.
Yeah, I love this. I saw this is a beta release that they blogged about yesterday, I think, but it's been there for a little while, but I didn't see a blog post about it until yesterday. It's apparently part of their new release feature in GitHub, where you can get all of these things, like the all the contributions, by just clicking on a little button.
Oh, right. That's great. Yeah, because right now we're generating all of this manually to kind of go through and look at all the PRs. But if GitHub's going to do that for us, that would be amazing. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. We'll look into that for our next release.
Yeah, I think it could be something that we can tie the release mechanism into, especially for the release notes. It pulls in a bunch of information. I mean, the highlights and everything has to be written, of course, but like the all changes here, and also they also call out new contributors, so they identify people who have done their first contribution to a project.
Excellent.
Yeah,
great.
It's pretty neat. I'll add a link to the blog post here so you can check it out later.
Excellent, thank you.
This is great. Does anyone have any questions or comments about the 1.7 release? All right, Dave.
Yeah, so I had community support last week, did a few things. I think Bridget's actually stuck with it this week, so we need to sync up on that. Still working on the item snapshotter, working on the restore paths right now, and I'm off at KubeCon next week. So I don't know who else is physically attending. I put something in the Slack channel but didn't hear anything, but you know, might make sense to schedule a time to meet up there. Jonas, are you going?
No, I will not be attending KubeCon. The plan was for me to go to KubeCon, but it's I'm going to Raleigh for All Things Open right the week after, and we have a birthday party sandwiched in between. So I didn't want to fly back and forth and do a bunch of things. So I'm not
that's too much craziness, especially this year.
Yeah, exactly, especially this year. But I am looking forward to next year, though.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is going. Scott, are you going?
No, I won't be there either. So
Okay, well, I'll be around, so I'll just keep posting in Slack and whatnot. And there's data protection working group thing going on there, so I'll show up for that, and we'll see what else we have.
If you want to send over a few things where you will be, we can make sure that those get scheduled both in Slack and on Twitter, so people can reach out that way.
Okay, and I'm also speaking at I have a little talk at the Caston booth, and I'll have a little talk at the Veritas booth. Nothing big, like 15 minutes.
Fantastic. Yeah, just send that over and I'll get everything scheduled.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think, so I'll be attending, of course, virtually, and I think a lot of people are. So it'll be cool to see all the presentations and things. So I'm looking forward to that. Any questions for Dave? All right, Bridget.
So with 1.7 over now, starting to look forward to the 1.8 work that we're scheduling. So I've mostly just been starting some kind of initial background work, particularly with the data mover work that's coming up for this release. And I'm also hopefully going to sync with Fong this week on the plugin versioning. He did just ping in the channel right before to say that he was going to be picking that work up again. So I will sync up with him. I'm also going to be out for 2 weeks. I've got some PTO coming up. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be at KubeCon. I love the idea of travel and to see some folks, but it's not an option this year. So anyone who's attending, hope you have a lot of fun, and yeah, look forward to next year. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Bridget. Any questions, comments for Bridget? All right. So speaking of next year, I'm going to dive into a discussion topic here for KubeCon EU. CFPs will start for KubeCon EU on October 25th. So we'll have KubeCon next week, VMworld right now for those who are attending VMworld, and then KubeCon next week, and then it'll be a week of lag, and then they'll start the CFP process there. So most likely they'll close that, I'm guessing, end of November or something like that. Usually have it open for like 4 or 5 weeks. So I would love to see a CFP here for Velero. We've had some talks at previous conferences, so it would be fantastic if we could get some CFPs in there too. Do you have any ideas of what we could tackle?
I think we've got 2 on my list so far. One is we're doing some work with Sonoboy to actually verify health of cluster before and after backup. And so that's kind of an interesting convergence between the two, is to be able to say, hey, we're actually conforming with cluster. I don't know if that's terribly interesting, but we'll see about that. And the other is just to push forward with like the Astrolabe stuff as a talk.
That's great. And for those who weren't here for last week's episode of the community meeting, Astrolabe is a very important project going forward. So please watch that recording. So yeah, those are 2 really good ones for sure. Anything else anyone can think of? Putting you all on the spot here. Right. So those are 2 really good ones, though. Definitely want to dig into those.
Yeah, and actually the other one that's been kind of floating around for a while is backup and restore of operator-driven applications and the challenges and how to fix those. We were proposing to do that last one, but I don't think we put together a very good summary.
Good. Nice. Thinking, Scott, would you be interested in doing a talk around Velero and the work you're doing with OpenShift or anything like that?
Yeah, it's possible. I haven't really given it much thought yet, but maybe something we could think about.
Okay.
Yeah, because you is where? Madrid, was it?
Was that?
I think it's in Madrid this year, so you know.
Oh, all right. Terrible location, really, for a conference. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, let's definitely get something in there. We can send in a few. I think they'll keep the regular requirement that you can submit 2 sessions with your name on it, but you can only be approved for 1. That's usually how it goes. So it definitely works well if we want to spread it out a bit to get more speakers in, more diverse speaker set, and also we get a bigger chance of having more talks in. Right. Cool. Next up, we have Rafael.
Just quick, I added more stuff on the design. So if you want to take a look and move forward with the approval or more feedback of design, it's really appreciated. I think at this point, the only not missing, but what I wish you put more details is how I'm going to implement the interfaces, how to persist the logs in light of Dave's uploading phase. But that's just implementing those interfaces. I think that's pretty much. And after that, if you guys can take a look, appreciate it, give feedback, and I'll work on it.
Yeah, I think we can just like start moving forward with the design, and then there's always going to be something that changes as you go along, because it's like, oh wait. So we just go back and update the design.
Yeah. If you want to go back all to the bottom of the file, that you see how we implement, how we load a little bit up. That's how pretty much we envision how to run those plugins. Pretty simple. But that's what we got so far. Thank you.
Great. So implementation work next.
Yeah, once the design is approved, I'm more than happy to do the implementation, have a mock-up, and probably gonna be me or my coworker Chris that has a version already running. We'll work on it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Does anyone have any other discussion topics for today? All right. Let's do some contributor shoutouts. Who wants to tag team with me today?
I can help.
Great.
Okay, so this first change is from Dan Fung, who's one of the engineers who's helped working with us on Velero in VMware. So she has added this change to our end-to-end tests to make sure that we're using the correct versions of the plugins for different versions of Velero. So recently she added a test to check the upgrade process, and part of that is making sure that we need to use the correct versions of the plugins as well. So thank you very much, Danfeng. So this is from Kevin Dunglass. So this change I'm not familiar with. This is in our Helm chart. So fixing support for secret and bars. So yes, this must have been an issue with sorry, I'm just like reading this like super quickly to like make sure. So this is a new value that's been added, and then this, I'm guessing, it's making sure that we can use it correctly in the Helm chart. So thank you very much, Kevin. Yeah, this is a docs fix again from Kevin, where the docs for the Helm chart were incorrect in that the command was specifying the chart name in the wrong place. So this updates those docs so that if you copy and paste this, it will work correctly. So thank you very much for that fix. And then this one is from Daniel. This is for fixing there's a new job in the Helm chart, which upgrades the CRD. So this allows resource requests and limits to be set on the container that's running that upgrade job and the cleanup job as well. So thank you very much for that. And then I think that's it. Is that the final one? Yeah,
That's it.
So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Bridget. All right, that's it for today's meeting. Thank you all for joining. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy KubeCon physically or virtually next week. We'll pause next week's community meeting due to KubeCon. So please enjoy, have fun, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you then. Have a good time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.